You don't need me.
Hey, it's LT, Bands and Clubs of the Triangle, and we are here with Jeff of SAR. That's the abbreviation. It's gotten around a bit. Stone Age Romeos. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, glad to be here with you tonight.
Hey, I appreciate that. And gosh, this year, 2025, we are celebrating 20 years of SAR, Stone Age Romeos. Congratulations. Does it feel like 50 or does it feel like five or how's that going?
Tell you what, it just flies by. I was going through. I have pretty much every uh, set list we've ever had, and I've been going back looking at them, trying to. We'll play gigs now. We're trying to bring back some old songs here and there. They probably won't stick because there's a reason we won't play them anymore. But it is cool to go back and look at all the years. And my body tells me, heck yeah, it's 20 years for sure. Each morning I get up after a gig. That's for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. We talk about that often. But yes, I'm honored that the set list goes in a file. You have filed it.
It's an Excel spreadsheet, so I have a large folder with all of them in there.
Awesome, awesome. That would be a nice folder to go through. A lot of history there. Hey, I think earlier in preparation, there are some songs you might have claimed some songs, and maybe so. I guess I probably could think of one or two, but a couple of songs that have lasted 20 years. Is that right, Jeff?
Oh, to be honest with you, if you looked at the set list, there's probably 15 songs from our first set list that are still played. Maybe not every night, but Blister in the Sun and Jesse's Girl and things like that that are, they've just been around for probably every band that's been around here that's played them, or Brown Eyed Girl, or played that funky music, those type staples that we might be tired of playing, but people who are out there want to hear them. So you got to play what they want to hear.
Oh, certainly, certainly. And I'd have to help myself, but yeah, in another 20 years, we'll still hear Bruno Mars, right? Just, just all the great hits that are there for selecting. Um, Gosh, 20 years, Jeff. I think originally back 20 years ago when SAR started, I think it remains two in the band as far as who was there with the origin of the band. But maybe verify that and also just your rich history that started before Stone Age Romeos. Can you share a little bit of that or how it came about, the band history and
Sure.
then jumping into let's form SAR?
I'd love to. Um, I started off with a friend of mine probably when I was in probably ninth or eighth grade. His name's Kevin Crum, and he was a guy that was a couple years older than me, and his sister was a classmate of mine. He used to sing a lot and play the guitar, which kind of got me interested in doing it. I could not sing like him. He could really sing well. So
Right.
as time went on, I tried to learn how to sing, and then as I got to high school, I found a band that was looking for a singer, and I told them I could sing, even though I really hadn't sang in a band or anything before. And
Okay.
and it was mostly alternative rock music, which I knew some, but I mean, I grew up a heavy metal fan and hard rock fan, and getting into REM and The Cure and U2 with a friend of mine named Mark Royal. He started that band. It was a band called Modern Ethics, and that was the first band I was ever in. It was a very good learning experience. We only played a few times, but we played out a few times, but that was about it. Then I got a couple years older, and I decided to put a band together. It was this band that we had talked about. The Reunion in Virginia is a band called Shades of Grey, and it was a band that I put together with John Vobrack on guitar, and then we had Eddie Horn on drums, Jeff Pierce on bass, and then we brought in Wendell Johnson on rhythm guitar and singing background vocals.
Uh-huh.
And we had done a reunion last summer in Chesapeake, Virginia, in Great Bridge at Woody's, and it was just awesome. It was like a high school reunion. And, it was the first time we had played together in maybe 31, 32 years. I went back for about 4 months on four different weekends or different days so we could practice these songs. And Wendell, He lives in Atlanta, so he still plays a lot. But the drummer in the band had not played a gig since that gig 31 years ago. So
Yeah, I remember you saying that on the
yeah,
phone.
it was
God.
it was cool. I mean, that band was my first real band. We played down at the beach at at Cafe Loco, and like you said, World Brothers, and some of those different places that you've probably run around to back in the day. And it was cool because we weren't even of age yet, and Wendell was like 16, still in high school. It was an unbelievable time.
Yes, yes, yes. So I grew up in Richmond, and where am I placing you in your high school years, or where your family was? You were
I
where in
was
Virginia?
Chesapeake, Virginia, which in the high school I was at was this high school back here, Great Bridge High School. I don't know if you can see that little sign back
Yeah,
there,
yes,
but
yes.
yeah, I just threw that up in my room recently. I just happened to see that. I was like, oh, okay. So we in Great Bridge, when we played that reunion, there was no bars or restaurants back there that had bands. So it's crazy for me when I go back there, and there's like 6 or 7 places that have bands now, and I still see a lot of the people still playing around there. Mitch Fouts is one of the people who, and Aaron Kershaw, they were in a band called the Plaid, which was a big band there, which is one of the reasons I wanted to be in a band. I saw how cool they were at high school, and running around. I was like, man, I want to be in a band. So they kind of motivated me. I played up in Richmond a couple times, up in the Shaco Slip area, in another band. Um, it was called Playground, I believe. It was like I don't know if you've ever heard the band Locals Only, but it was most of the people who were in that band. And it
Okay.
was a short-lived band, but it got me to some different locations.
Gosh,
Um,
so all that history, different bands, you're catching us up, and then about that time, have we gotten up there, and then you joined with someone starting Stone Age Romeos?
there was one more band called Element, which I spent for a couple years. It was a great time. Again, alternative rock, which is mostly what I played in Virginia. And then I was out of the scene for probably 3, 4 years, and the guy, some of the guys there that used to be in bands, reached out to me, and one of the guys' name was Anthony Baza and Greg Bell and Rich Grado. They had a band that they were putting together, and that was the band Element. But later, as time went on, Anthony Baza, who was the manager and sound guy, became my friend, and we were decided to put another band together. I was living in Raleigh at the time, and I decided I was going to go back to Virginia, and we called it Stone Age Romeos. I always thought it was a cool name for a band. So
Yes.
the band originally originated in Virginia for about a year. So I don't even count that year as the 20 years of Stone Age Romeos, but
Okay.
really the Stone Age Romeos in Virginia, Stone Age Romeos in Raleigh area, two different bands, but same name.
And did you teach me right, or we talking? But out of Raleigh, Stone Age Romeos versus Virginia, but at some point, is the person of origin with you is your great sound tech or Chris Stevens?
That's Yeah, me and a guy named Jay Raskowski, we originally put the band together and went through all the trials and tribulations that probably every band in this area has gone through, trying to find members. Or back then, you could practice in storage places that you could rent. And we finally got a gig. And the first gig, we didn't have a sound man, and it was a nightmare. So Jay said, "We're going to get my friend Chris Stevens, to run sound." So from gig number 2, Chris Stevens has been there the whole time. Other
Oh,
than
he
one
lost it.
time at 42nd Street when he got mad at me and he left in the middle of the gig, but I probably deserved it. So
Okay, okay. Good to the institution. Yeah, we were mentioning, of course, me, Richmond, you, Chesapeake, Great Bridge, but yeah, it just stirs up memories for
yeah,
me. You named some of them, but Jewish Mother, Peabody's, Club
yeah,
Rogues, World Brothers.
all
Um,
cool places.
Out of Virginia Tech back in the 80s. Woo, there we go, dating it.
Yeah,
Out of Virginia Tech, my first teaching job, a high school teacher, was in Edenton, North Carolina, which about an hour and a half south
yeah,
of Chesapeake, Virginia Beach area. But no, small town of 7,000, and we'd get to my weekend and loving music and loving a good time. And we'd head up on Friday night or Saturday night to Club Rogue. and Virginia Beach, and DJ oriented a
Yeah.
lot at that point. But Peabody's, some different bands and so forth, and just great memories, Jeff. And a lot of those places aren't there anymore, but what Peabody still is, and a couple of them.
Club Rogues had Van Halen play there, the Police, all kinds of people. It was before it was more of a dance club, so it was like a great place. And also, like you said, Peabody's, that's one of my favorite places. I played there quite a few times, but Peabody's also had the worst load in ever, where they had like a two-story straight up stairwell that you had to load your
Yes,
PA into.
yes,
And you had to
yes,
load your PA in there. It was crazy, but
yes.
it was worth it because it was a great place to play. That's for sure.
And Ken, I think, or whether Club Rogues, I think, did some food at times, but I would claim I was going to World Brothers maybe
World
before I was
was
going before Club Rogues because I wanted the shrimp. I wanted
yeah.
the shrimp, or maybe it was vice versa, but I've always loved seafood, certain types of seafood. And even at 22, 24 years old, that was my routine. I was going, I was up in that market at 6 p.m. I was going to have a great dinner and food, some drinks, and then roll in. And oftentimes it was Club Rogues DJ, but some bands also just in their rich history. But yeah, amazing area. Talking about favorite venues or all the venues, I know it's hard to do, but you certainly got to have some voices of the band Stone Age Romeos. But what are some of the favorite places in that 20-year history of Stone Age Romeos? And I know we were talking just in the last 2 weeks, and gosh, we're adding a new one to the list. You're enjoying the experience just like we are at Zinc House Winery and Brewery as a new one, but what can you speak of in terms of venues?
Well, I'm not going to speak of any of the new ones because I love them all and I don't want to miss any one or, pick one over the other. They're all great. Anybody that books me, I'm greatly appreciated too, and I love to play at. And two of my favorite past ones we don't play it anymore are Cafe Loco in Raleigh and 42nd Street Oyster Bar back when they were, diagonally across the street from each other. It was an unbelievable time early on for Stone Age because, those were two big places to play. And
Yes.
we, for us to get in there, we didn't have anybody in the band that was from the area that had any connections. So we kind of had to build it up just by playing. And playing those two places was awesome. And obviously Tony's as well, which is now back then Bar and Grill, which is awesome as well. But those three places off the top of my head that are no longer around by those names were awesome. There's no doubt. We played a lot of other places, and I'm thankful for all of them. But off the top of my head, those were always the places that had the best crowds and probably, you know, some of the best environments for a band.
Now we're pretty smooth on right now or in the recent history of Stone Age Romeos because yes, you were describing earlier World Brothers, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. That's quite a load in and pack out, right? For stairs and so forth. But have we been pretty lucky for getting equipment into bars and restaurants recently?
I will say, thank God, everything is getting lighter. That is for sure. Some of our stuff is still heavy, but it's nothing compared to what it used to be with full size power amps and the lights. And yeah,
That's a good point.
as
That's a
we
good
get
point.
older, there's no doubt that the lighter the materials to carry around are better. Because in our band, there's always somebody who's injured. And also, my trailer with Stone Age Romeos is not tall enough for you to walk into. So everyone at some point has bashed their head in there and bleeding or whatever. So yeah, it's
Oh my gosh. Oh
always
gosh.
entertaining, especially when it's after the gig and you're mad, it's tired, and you hit your head on the roof of that thing. It's not fun. Chris can attest to that probably most recently.
Under, understand. Oh gosh, let's break for this thought. Today, your job or driving around or to and fro in your activities, but let's go inside your vehicle, truck, or whatever. What did you have on playing on the radio, or what are you listening to, or a satellite radio or whatever?
Um, I listen to XM Sirius Radio most of the time, and I listen to the spectrum, which is kind of like a mixture of newer and older music, anything from Coldplay and the Black Keys to the Beatles to whatever. But I also turn it to the next channel over, which plays like 70s mellow yacht rock music, which I love. And I also turn to metal. But today it was the Spectrum and Fox Sports with talking about the Super Bowl and things like that.
Well, I think that's real interesting, and you and I have talked about it in relationship for the transition in Stone Age Romeos. The band, we want to get people dancing. It is a mission of the band. It's a glorified mission as to the venues with space and dancing is a big part of the mix in many of the places that you play. And generally, by what you're doing with your high energy, that's an outcome and a desire they want. But I'm hearing in your history that obviously just dance or top 40 or however we would describe it, your musical tastes are varied. And a lot of that rich history that you started were in the other lanes, some alternative, some metal, some rock. Isn't that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and a lot of it comes from, as growing up in the 80s. So metal was very, you know, popular and I loved it. But also I worked at Record Bar slash Tracks for 3 to 5 years. I can't remember the timeline, but
Nice, nice.
when you work there, you kind of turn into a music snob and you no longer like what's popular. And if it's a band you liked that was cool, like I originally loved Toad the Wet Sprocket before like they were popular, and I would go see them. I came down to Cat's Cradle even when I lived in Chesapeake, and they play there. Then they got popular, so then you're like, I don't like them anymore. They're too popular. But as you get older, you realize that's stupid. But yeah, you get a little snobby. I love music. I mean, I'm going to show you a quick brief look. This is all records
Yeah.
all around my house, everywhere in my bonus room here. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I am addicted to music. I always have been, and my wife hates it because it takes up so much space. But thankfully, she's cool with me overtaking this upstairs area and kind of putting it in here. Yeah, I love it. I've always had a ton of it, whether it was CDs or records or whatever else. But it's always been my passion. Concerts, collecting music, anything music related.
Yeah, my father-in-law, Tracy's dad, down in Morehead City, big music enthusiast, and it's closet after closet, just like your bonus room of albums and so forth. And it was not necessarily, it's real interesting to me. It wasn't specific to a particular genre. He just
Right.
across the board collected it and so forth. You were get the privilege, I think it's still a privilege. You work at home some and in the office some, I believe, or whatever that description. And is that you've been in, gosh, I feel like I labeled it wrong one time and you were correcting me. Correct me again, but are you in the banking field or?
I work for Truist. I don't do any of the banking. I do IT, API web development. But I've worked for them. This is my 20th year. I love it. Love the job. I love the company. I'm going back to the office starting in the beginning of March for the first time in quite a few years. So should be interesting.
Are they, in essence, are they calling some back to the office?
They're calling everybody pretty much back to the office. Very few get to work from home, and I understand why. It makes sense for the collaboration, but it's
Right.
just be a shock to my system to have to
Yes.
there. So
Yes, yes. And I'm sorry, but yeah, Truist might not be worthy of it, but I just heard you say Truist and Stone Age Romeos line up on the same time frame reference of 20 years.
it did, and I remember when I first started working at Truist, and the band had just begun, and that job I had to work on call sometimes on the weekends. So that was interesting. Where I remember a gig for sure at Fat Daddy's where I was working for the web support team, and I got a call. Had to go out there and try to do support in between the set breaks. So yeah, I remember those days quite well.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one right there. But yeah, congratulations on both those
Thanks.
milestones. So us, Stone Age Romeos, bands and clubs of the Triangle, love local music with us. Our 12,000 plus easy followers on a couple of those pages. We've tag team 2025 for celebrating the 20th anniversary of SAR. And you volunteered, I volunteered you, but I got you doing a couple of things. Maybe that bonus room or somewhere else in your house, you're going through some things. What are you trying to pull together on social media or in person? A couple of things that we've talked about.
Well, we're putting together a an anniversary show. The date is not set yet because I'm trying to. Our original guitar player, Roger Hine, he lives in California and he works out there. So I'm trying to figure out if we can somehow work it to where he can come back. If he can't, I've definitely lined up. Orlin Tart was one of our guitar players. Mark Stevens, another of our guitar player. J. Razkowski was our original bassist. Trying to remember who else. Mike Creech, he can't come probably, but trying to get together whoever was in the band for a significant amount of time
Right, right.
and mostly it's guitar players. They're the ones that always leave us.
Right, right, right. Now, should we do this halfway and go ahead and have a 20th reunion show in Las Vegas?
Hey, that would be awesome.
I
As long as
understand.
you're paying for everybody to go.
I understand. Make it happen. How you doing on is that a shoebox or other things? Of course, I think you're pretty organized, but have you got a few pictures of through the years?
Yeah, they're all digital. So it's like I'm trying to put together. I did it a few years ago, maybe at the 15-year mark, where I started going through and making a post of yeah, I called it like the original band and then the Mark Steven years and the different people through the years. They're kind of pictures of their time during the band. So I need to put together something that's a full, you know, 30, 50 pictures of different fun times during the past
Right, right,
three
right,
years and make a post on Facebook. And
right.
it is cool to see. I mean, I had a lot more hair then. It was darker and less wrinkles, but and I could jump higher. But it has been an awesome time, and I really I do thank God for allowing me to be able to do this because everybody when they're young, I wanted to be a rock star and all that stuff, and I didn't really go for it, but that's what I wanted. But to be able to have a career and then still do this on the side and has been unbelievable, and then
Yes, yes.
about 6 years ago is when I had cancer, and at that point I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be in a band anymore, and it's very important to me, and I thought, you know, luckily I was able to have surgery and not have to go through radiation chemo on my throat, so it has really not affected me other than this giant scar here, but
Right, right,
I'll
right.
take the battle wound. To be able to go on with doing what I love on the weekend, that's for sure. And I say the weekend, but it takes a lot of other time as well. When you're the person who runs the band, that's just the weekends when you get to have the fun time.
And Jeff, I know you personally, your commitment to your family is large, as I hope it should be. But gosh, just my 14 years in doing this and just the toll of the toll of what it can take on a family and responsibility as dads, fathers, husbands. Um, it is a toll, and it is. I'm quite amazed sometimes a show on Saturday night, and then somehow we're communicating on Sunday, and then I learned pretty quickly that you were up at 9 a.m. Or things that needed to be done, and you got home at 3. That has to get tiring, but yet you've stayed a passion with it. And but can you speak to that, or just maybe you're not on the same wife as 20 years ago? I can't remember. I'm on number 3,
You
but
and me
yeah.
both.
But
I'm on wife number 3, yes, for those watching, listening. But
woo,
this wife
woo.
I've been married to, Melody, for 16 years, and I probably would not be able to be in this band if it wasn't for her because she is very hands off with that. She lets me do it. She doesn't give me a hard time. She trusts me to come home and do what I'm supposed to, and not be that person that could have been in the past that was in a band. So Yeah,
Yes.
it is very important to have someone who trusts you and believes that you're going to do the right thing. And I've tried my best to do that through these past 20 years in this band because it is a lot of trust you put in to your husband or your wife who's in a band that comes home 3 or 4 in the morning and they've been out in a club all night. And even though you're just a local musician, there's still people who might be interested in trying to do something. But
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, you got to be the right kind of person at this point. And I'm an older person in life that's allowed me to assess what's important. And being in the band playing music is awesome. It's good for my soul, but without a wife that's trusting and trust you to go out there and do it, it wouldn't be possible.
And in the beginning, Melody actually stayed awake till you got home, or she
She
doesn't
used
quite
to
do that quite
she,
now?
she used to come with me to a lot of gigs in the early years, but when you're there all night and you're not the one that sitting there playing, you're just sitting there with your friends or whatever else. It gets to be a long night, and then you're getting home at 3 or 4 in the morning. She can't pop up like I can to get it the next day after less sleep. She needs a lot of sleep, so it just got to the point where she's like, "I'm done. I'll come out to Wendell's Meat on Main and things like that. That's earlier." She came to Zinc House because it ends at 10. Things
Right,
like
right.
things like that where it's not so late. And I completely understand because I don't think I could do that if I was, just sitting there or, hanging out for all those hours, especially
Well,
seeing the same songs or, seeing
well,
seeing some, seeing a
yeah,
lot.
you just gave a secret to you, I guess, but maybe you don't require a lot of sleep. And I could say nothing else but dreaming about your schedule and just your trip home to around the Wilson area. And yeah, yeah. So yes, your devotion, your passion, but I know that's a big
It's autopilot now, buddy. That drive home, it literally is my truck can drive it almost by itself.
All right, think about 7 minutes left. We're doing good. 20 years. Anybody celebrating 20 years in 2025, the same age as YouTube and the same age as The Office. Did not know that or would not know that until I looked it up. And I don't know, maybe I'm harder on thinking about, okay, YouTube, 20 years old. And gosh, one of my popular things and the YouTube channel and all that we do, looking at YouTube and now YouTube TV and all they're doing. But that was education to me. Stone Age Romeo is the same as age as YouTube and The Office, and there were a number of other things I just can't remember it. Those, but. I think you and I mentioned, I think you know him, or you might recall, 2025 is also 20 years for a couple of triangle local bands besides yourself. Do you remember any of those?
I know, I think it's a 454.
Yep, 454.
And then I don't remember who the other one was you had
Yeah,
mentioned.
and maybe I'm just pulling it up and learning or just running into so many of them. But Joe Hero is actually
Oh,
celebrating.
okay, yeah, the Foo Fighters tribute band. That
Yes, Joe Hero celebrating. And yes, and 454. And
didn't
that, that
wasn't 454 called Car 454 originally?
we're looking at each other saying we don't know.
I could, I think I remember they used to play at 42nd Street back in the day when we did, but I could be wrong. It might be a different band.
Okay. Okay. And your friendship means a lot to me, and but this is true of my conversation with many band members, not just Stone Age Romeos or the lead singer, and that is Lawrence, you're talking about this stuff, but I'm really learning it from you because I enjoy talking about the local music in the Triangle or in North Carolina, but I don't get to go out and see these bands because we're fortunate, blessed enough as Stone Age Romeos, we stayed busy. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's definite with that, and then being in Snapback as well. And then the main real problem is living in Wilson. It's really hard for me to drive an hour to go see a band and then drive an hour home. It's different when I'm playing because I have to. I don't do it often. Me and my wife need to do it more. We try to here and there, but it only ends up happening like once a year, which is not good. But I've seen Police and Thieves, and I've seen 8-Track Minds recently, and both of them were awesome. So I really got it, and I need to go see Kill in the Void because I've told Joey I would go see them as well. So, and I
Yes.
need to go see 454. So I mean, yeah, I need to get out there, but I'm
No,
old.
I think I know your answer. We just got to make it happen. If we could pull a show together, I get well, yeah. Both our heads probably think about old patio parties
Heck
in the
yeah, I'm
Tony
hoping they
Space
can do that. Yep,
back then bar and grill. But what a time if pulling something together.
that would be awesome. Yep.
No matter what venue would maybe in our thought process would put it together, Joe Hero 454 or some combination SAR Stone Age Romeos. I think that'd be so
We have to step up our rock game for that night if we're going to play with them. We won't be able to.
yeah. But I think that would be a real I mean I call it about building music experiences, building local music memories, and that'd be one for the books, and I think would be a great thing to have the
That was
billing
awesome.
for if we can make special things like that happen. I think we've got. I think you have got it. You mentioned it to me. But you're trying or you're thinking about a T-shirt for the 20th year. You think you can make that happen, or a koozie, a koozie?
We need to do something. We've been, I mean, extremely slack for a long time on all of our promotions. Our picture's old, and we haven't even had a true real band picture in probably 8 years at least. So we had that one where we're jumping around with Mike Creech, which was a cool picture, but I want a band shot. And then now Todd Lee has been in the band a couple years now. So we are getting a picture taken in March, early April, one of the two, a new band picture. I told him Todd's never allowed to lead the band because I'm not getting a new picture and I'm not going through learning all these songs again with somebody. So we're going to handcuff him into the band until this thing's over with.
Hey, let's give a plug. You were talking about it earlier, a reunion of the band that you did years ago, Shades of Gray, right?
Yep.
And there is on the calendar, or whether it's a party bus from Raleigh, and I'm not sure. We can't promise, but where is that reunion, and is it on the calendar?
It is. It's at Woody's in Great Bridge again, and it is on August the 16th. And it will be music like the Connells, REM, The Cult, Billy Idol,
Uh,
things that I don't get to play anymore, but truly, Dreams So Real, stuff I truly still love and love to sing. Some of it's hard for me to sing, I ain't gonna lie to you. And I can't sing Fire Woman anymore by The Cult. People asked me that last time. I'm like, nope, can't sing that. So, yeah, it is. It's something I look forward to because again, it's not only a reunion of the band, but it's pretty much a high school reunion. There's a few years worth of group of 86, 87, 88, 89 graduates of Great Bridge. They kind of show up, and it's good to see everybody. Last time we played, Stone Age Romeos played as well, so I didn't hardly get to talk to anybody